Morning, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. Out this morning on an early morning ride. I had an idea. I wanted to do my take on Memorial Day. Wanted to start out right here at this bridge, Corporal William A. Chambers Memorial Bridge. This is my grandmother's brother. He was killed in France in World War I. Buried in France. I just wanted to try to do a little bit of my career, family, military experience. I know everybody's military experience with their family is different. Everybody's probably been touched by somebody in the military, whether it be World War I, II, Korea, Vietnam, or any of the Iraqi wars. I was going to show you a few things and talk about what I think about it. Let's go for a ride. Got all the corn about knee high. Getting close, ready for some sweet corn to be grown, done and ready to eat and put up in the freezer. But they named that bridge that I just showed you after they dedicated it to him about 6 years ago. They've dedicated a lot of bridges around this area to veterans, people that's died overseas and stuff. But I'm proud to have some of my kinfolks named and thought about. He was a corporal, and also I will try to insert a picture in this video if I'm good enough. He had another brother, Paul E. Chambers, which was my uncle, and he fought in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Now he was the real deal. He was something else. Anybody that went through all three campaigns is beyond tough in my book. And he lived. I mean, I knew him when I was a kid, up when I was growing up, until they moved away. They moved away when I was young. Moved out west. And my whole family's been touched by it. My grandpa on my mother's side had two brother-in-laws that was both in the Battle of the Bulge in World War II. Zeke Zahn. They had stories that was unreal. They both survived. Barely. One of them barely survived. But what got me on this idea was I had to go last Friday over to Waynesboro and do some stuff that I needed done at the courthouse to get done. And I was hungry, so I went over to McDonald's, sit down and eat. And when I went in and sat down, a little man and his wife come in, and I seen him up there, and he had on one of them blue hats, and I could tell it was a hat that said, you know, like Vietnam vet or what ship you're on or stationed or what branch of the military is in. Well, I let them order their food, and I was about done. I got up. He got his stuff in his tray and went and sat down at his table. And I seen his hat, and it said World War II vet. And I'm like, well, I always try to acknowledge, shake their hand, tell them thank you. I went over to him, and it just absolutely made my day to go over and talk to him for a few minutes, shake his hand and tell him how much I appreciated it. And he was spry. Had to be at least 90 years old, and he was still spry. But he was on the second wave at Normandy, D-Day. And I've never met nobody that was at D-Day. I've met many World War II vets, but I never met none that was actually involved in D-Day. I just thought that was interesting. That gave me the idea for this video. And this jacket I'm wearing today, one is my son, who just got done with his military service. My oldest son, he was in the Army in military intelligence, and he's finished his service, got out, and now he has a job at he got him a job to begin with at State Correctional Facility here local. Well, he's having to work today on Memorial Day. I mean, he went in, that's why I'm up at 6:26 in the morning. He left to go to work at 4:30 this morning, and he won't be home to 8 o'clock tonight. And I wanted to give a shout out to him. I was proud of him for his service. My father, my daddy, he was in the Army, not during wartime, but 1959 through 64, 63, 64. Served his Army. Heartland Dual Sport, he was out there in your area, done his training at Fort Sill, which my son also done his training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And I've been out in that area. But I was also going to stop here before the video's over. This is my old family cemetery. At the back on a hill, leaning over. This is my old family cemetery, Cedar Grove Church. And it used to be nothing but cedar trees in this whole cemetery. An F4, F5 tornado came through in the early mid-90s, and like an atomic bomb hit the place. You can still see one of those cedar trees they left standing. But what they done is a guy came in and took those cedar trees. They are still in the ground right here. I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see it good in the video. He come in and done these angels from the cedar tree. Look at the base of the cedar tree. It's still in the ground. And carved them with a chainsaw. I just think it's real neat. He done 2 of them. Still got one cedar tree standing. But my family, the chamber side you've seen at the bridge, and the Brumley side that I'm fixing to show you one more tombstone. Been here since the early 1700s. I mean, late 1700s, 1780s is when this cemetery was started. Here's another one of the angels. Still, you can see how big the cedar trees were. That is huge diameter. If you see my foot up against it, that's one of the biggest cedar trees you'll ever see. This is all my kinfolks. This whole cemetery. Come down here. But I was just saying, I shook the guy's hand at a McDonald's in Waynesboro. If you get a chance, try to go shake a veteran's hand today. Find one. If you know anybody in your family, call them. You know, whatever you need to do. But right here is my other uncle. The last one I wanted to show before I left. This is the oldest part of the cemetery. You can still see just little rocks. The tornado took away a lot of it. It's broke a lot of these tombstones. Here's John Brumley, 1780. Here's Sam Brumley. All these are kin, but this is the one I wanted to show for the military. Uncle Jim Brumley, 2nd Lieutenant, U.S. Army, Civil War, 1832 to 1882. I just wanted everybody to see that. Stop over here, give you a view of everything. But I'm glad you watched. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, if you agree with what I say. And go out, find you a vet today, talk to them, ask them about their service, and thank them. This is Old School Dirt Biker, out on the road. Talk to you later.